Hi there, I'm Ron Watermon, the founder and CEO of STORYSMART, a nationwide startup that's committed to providing professional video storytelling for all. Today, I want to talk to you about brand or branded entertainment in baseball. As many of you may know, I worked in baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals prior to starting STORYSMART. I worked for 18 seasons or 17 years. And I actually see baseball as entertainment. I mean, it's not a necessity in life. It's probably heresy for me as the former chief communications officer for the team to say that, but that's the practical reality, right? Like, you don't need Major League Baseball. You want it. You want to watch it. It's entertaining. And, you know, you feel a part of the team and as a fan. And I live in a city that loves the St. Louis Cardinals. We absolutely adore, and our identity is tied to the team. And when the team is up, we're up, and when the team is down, we're down. And I just recently had breakfast with a friend of mine earlier this week, and you know, the conversation started with the Cardinals and the fact that they lost the wild card series against the Philadelphia Phillies at Busch Stadium, even though they had home field advantage. And you know, I had made a commitment that I would reflect on my time in baseball and my time with the Cardinals for as long as the Cardinals are in the postseason. So I'm cheating a little bit because I'm posting this, but I was headed down the path and they lost too soon, which is the nature of the game. You know, I wasn't as upset honestly as my friend was, and maybe it's because I've learned to modulate my emotions as it relates to the team. You know, when you work there, you realize that, you know, I had nothing to do with their on-field performance. I was there to support them and to help tell the story of the team. I actually saw myself as sort of the chief storyteller of the team, and that's the context of this post that supports the companion blog post that we just shared. I want to talk to you about this idea of brand entertainment or branded entertainment. And you know, what is branded entertainment? It's the Lego movie, right? Like, it's you know, it's that's a brand, right? Like, you know, their goal is to sell you Legos, and you know, they produce these wonderful movies that tell a story and are entertaining, and you're watching it because it's an entertaining movie, not because of Legos, right? Like, at the end of the day, that's why you're watching it, and that's sort of the definition that I kind of use with branded entertainment. Is, you know, you're not required to watch it. It's not like a commercial that you can't fast forward through, right? At the end of the day, it's entertainment. You want to watch it. You're pulled in, you're drawn in because of the story. And that's really what, you know, I want to talk to you about, and some of the things that we did when I was with the team. You know, I had sort of an aha moment sometime after getting stuck at spring training. I guess I'm trying to think what year it was, but the long story short is there was a snowstorm, and I had to move hotels because I had already checked out of my hotel, and I had to move into a new hotel, and I had seen every movie that you could see. That's one of the things I would do in the evenings. You know, I would go see a movie when I was at spring training by myself. But so a friend had told me about Netflix, and I thought Netflix was a DVD mail order company. I had no idea that there was a streaming app, and I downloaded the app, and it changed my world. It rocked my world. And I remember months later looking in USA Today and seeing a full-page ad for House of Cards, and you know, I don't remember if it was urging Emmy voters to vote for it, or if they had already secured a bunch of nominations, or if they had won Emmy awards. But I remember thinking, oh my God, they're creating their own content. They're creating their own stories. And you know, they're a DVD mail order place. They're a brand, right? They're a brand that people had come to identify with. And now that they had a streaming service, they could create their own content. And that's a lesson for you, and that was certainly a lesson for me as the communications guy for the Cardinals, that the Cardinals are a huge brand. They had the ability to communicate with an audience and to serve that audience content, whatever that is, right? And look at this. The Cardinals had 13.7 million people going to their website every month during the baseball season. And then as social media came on the scene, their their following, the followership, I'm not sure what the right terminology is, but the number of people following them on social media dramatically increased. And I think by the time I left the team, there was like 2.7 million people that were following the Cardinals on Facebook. And so we learned when we shared things, we could get a huge audience. And you know, the main thing that I always knew was that we were the ultimate authority on us, right? Like if there were trade rumors coming out about a player coming to the team, those weren't real until the team confirmed it. We were the ultimate authority on ourselves. And in this world, the way that it is today, you want to go directly to the source to get your news and information, right? I don't care who the brand is, right? Like if you're the local plumber, you're the ultimate authority on you and your business. And so you can communicate in so many different ways these days. And obviously we've built StorySMART around this idea that you should be sharing your story and take control of your narrative and connect directly with your consumer. And you should do that with video. And you should own that video. The power of ownership versus, you know, pitching it to the media and the media owns it and you don't own it, you can own it. And so that's the foundational principle behind StorySMART. But today I want to talk to you about this idea of branded entertainment. I mean, as you know, I'm infatuated with this idea of brand journalism, and we've built this huge network of journalists around the country to help small businesses and individuals tell their story in an authentic way using a journalism model, which is really the interview model, right? And that's really the bread and butter of what we do as a company. And I believe that that is a firm foundation that you should be using as a brand to connect with your consumers. And it was the foundation on which we built our social media strategy and our video storytelling strategy at the St. Louis Cardinals. But one of the things that I absolutely adored, and may love even more than brand journalism, is branded entertainment. I love entertainment. I watch probably way too much television. I certainly have throughout my life. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed going to the movies. I always wanted to become a filmmaker. As a kid, I literally wrote scripts and I did Super 8 movies and I did all those things because I absolutely adored it. And you know, that came through in my time at the Cardinals. You know, I think the first branded entertainment thing that we did was when we did the Stand for Stand campaign. We did a parody of the Karate Kid because the Karate Kid had been remade into a movie. And Will Smith's son, you know, took a picture with the paper doll, and Mr. Miyagi. I can't remember Jackie Chan was Mr. Miyagi in that version. So we did a branded entertainment piece that was really just a thinly veiled way to promote Stan Musial in a fun way, using the paper doll. And you know, we iterated from there. When you know, we were trying to tweet a lot, and Vine came along. That was really the first time that video functionality was there. We started doing Vines, and I'll never forget, we ended up doing a promotion called Vine the Vote. And we were encouraging our fans and our sponsors to do a Vine promoting one of our players to be voted into the All-Star game. And so to launch that campaign, I convinced, like I did when I was a kid, I would convince my friends to star in little Super 8 movies. I convinced my colleagues in the front office to meet me down on in the outfield to spell out yachty, yachty, yachty with a hashtag with their bodies. We cheated. We actually used baseball bats for the hashtag, but we used our bodies to spell out yachty, yachty, yachty. That was an example of what I would call branded entertainment. Obviously, it was only 6 seconds. And then later that summer, I'll never forget where I was. I was on this kick of losing weight and staying fit and all that stuff. And I would go to Club Fitness at the crack of dawn, and I'd do the stair climber for 45 minutes. And I remember being on the stair climber and scrolling through my Twitter feed. Okay. And there was a tweet, and I can't remember who tweeted this, but that Instagram was going to add video functionality to keep up with Twitter, which owned Vine, right? So Vine was a 6-second video. It's almost like a GIF, really. I think it was the precursor of what is now TikTok from a functionality standpoint. They were sort of ahead of their time, and they're no longer in business, I don't think. But I'm reading this tweet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Instagram is adding video functionality. And we had, at that point, we had formed a PR committee that that was really kind of an outgrowth of the Stand for Stan campaign, a way of connecting the entire front office around this idea of trying to share the story of the team. And anyway, long story short, I had this moment of like clarity of, oh my gosh, we could tell a story using this new Instagram video functionality. 15 seconds is long enough to like do an episode, and you could connect and tell a story over a series of episodes. So I came into the office that day with that idea and that burning desire to do that, and I didn't have an idea of what the story would be, but I had a Dwight Schrute bobblehead in my office, and I was going to have Phyllis Smith was coming in to throw out a first pitch. So long story short, I don't remember how long it took for me to have the idea of writing a parody of the TV show The Office, but I wrote a parody called #The Front Office. We created some artwork that we called Nest Flicks. It was a little play on words with Netflix, but it was Fredbird sitting in a nest or whatever. And I wrote a little plot line that was really a tip of the cap, or a little bit of my sarcasm back to my boss, Bill DeWitt, who had put the rally squirrel on the World Series ring after we won the World Series in 2011. And so the plot line of the series was that Fredbird felt threatened by the rally squirrel because Bill DeWitt, the team president, put the rally squirrel on the ring. And it looked like, he was trying to take his job. And that was the basic plot line. And it was Phyllis Smith who started off the series with, gee, I wonder what it would be like to, work for the St. Louis Cardinals. And then it's like her sharing an office with Fredbird, and Fredbird being Fredbird. And so when I pitched the story idea to her, she loved it. She said, yes, I'll do it. Once I had her, I went to David Freeze. Dave was like, oh my gosh, Phyllis Smith's going to do this. Yeah, I'm in. And of course, the Bird, I had him at hello, because anything silly he was all about, and anything that focused on him he was all about. So once I had the three of them, man, there were dominoes that fell really quickly. I mean, I had the general counsel, I had the general manager, had the team president, other players. Ultimately we ended up doing what I call collaborative storytelling with the piece, and we had a United States senator, the mayor, we had each of the TV stations, we had the guy that ran our Springfield Cardinals, all do episodes. And Andy Cohen actually did a couple episodes. I traded some texts with him, and I'm like, yeah, have your folks, I gave him a little bit of the plot line, and he ended up texting me his episodes, and they were great. They really added to the whole thing, and I remember thinking, wow, how cool is this that you can do collaborative storytelling with social media and tie things around it with the hashtag and all that stuff. And over the years we ended up doing more. We did Bird to the Future the following year because a friend of mine in Hollywood that I had made connections with through the Stand for Stan campaign, a guy named Doc Krotzer, is still a good friend and is going to be doing some work with us here at StorySmart. He came to me, pitched the idea of doing a mini movie on Instagram that would be Bird to the Future. The long story short there is he and I and another friend wrote a script, and we hired an outside production company, and we shot it, and Doc was the director of it, and we picked up 2 Emmy nominations. Didn't win, but we were nominated, so I can say I'm an Emmy-nominated writer. Anyway, but the premise of it was, how did the St. Louis Cardinals get such an awesome new museum in Ballpark Village and get all that great stuff? Well, of course, Fredbird built a time machine and went back in time and got all the stuff. And what was fun about it is that we got so many of our folks involved. Everybody from Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst to Adam Wainwright, which I call Sir Adam Wainwright. He's got a career as an actor after baseball, which hopefully he'll continue to play baseball. But anyway, the idea behind all of this stuff is that you can do it. You can be creative. TikTok is a perfect example of this phenomenon, right? Any brand, I don't care who you are, can use something like TikTok to do silly videos, to connect with people in an entertaining way, and to build your brand. You don't always have to be selling. You can be telling, and it's all about story, and it's all about entertainment. And draw from the lessons learned at the Cardinals. We ended up doing a lot of different things over the years, music videos. We did a cartoon series to honor one of our managers as part of a fan engagement campaign called Cards Rat Pack. You name it, we did it. I'm grateful that I was given the space to do that stuff, that our organization was open-minded enough at the time to try it. And certainly it was something that I adored doing, and then I would try to figure out a reason to justify to the powers that be that it was worthwhile. And I just knew intuitively that it was worthwhile. And it is worthwhile for you. I mean, if you have a creative bent, if you like having fun, show that. Connect with your consumers. Let them see you for who you are, and show a little bit of that personality. And when you do that, you'll connect at an authentic level with your audience, which at the end of the day is what you're trying to do. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to hit the like or subscribe button. And until next time, stay story smart.